Do AI managers matter on FM23? That is the question I'm posing in today's experiment. Let's have a look and find out. Okay then, in today's video we are conducting an experiment with AI managers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Mikel Arteta, because he's managing Arsenal, and Arsenal are a club that are on the brink of Champions League qualification in game. They've had a really good start to the real world season as well. So I thought they were a good candidate club for this experiment. So I'm going to take Mikel Arteta, I'm going to simulate a season with him as he is, as standard. That's going to be our baseline. Then I'm going to basically go into the pre-game editor, change all his attributes to 20, all of his attributes to 10, and all of his attributes to 1, and see what difference they make. And we'll find out whether AI Manager attributes actually have an impact on performance in game. And once we've gone through one season, if all managers are still there, we'll just simulate another 2 seasons and see what the differences are after 3 seasons. Because obviously he'll have a short-term impact and a longer-term impact by having different manager attributes. Hopefully, anyway. Right, we'll go and have a look now at the base case of the real world, Mikel Arteta with his current actual stats, and see how it goes. Okay then, so here we are in game, and this is Mikel Arteta with his current standard attributes. You can see here many in the mid-teens, a couple slightly higher, but sort of an average of around 14, 15 in his managerial and mental coaching stats. All of those are around, attributes rather, are all there. You can see his scouting 4, not really important. Coaching are all there. Medical's not important either by the look of things for a manager. He's got your motivating, your people management, your knowledge of player ability, your tactical knowledge, and your judging player ability and potential. They're the ones that are key or flagged as key by the game. And we'll see, they're all roughly averaging at 14. So we'll see what happens when we change them. And as we can see here, Arsenal are predicted 4th by the media. And if we have a look at the season preview for the Premier League, you can see here they're in 6th. So you can just imagine they're going to be battling for that final Champions League place. And if they have a good start to the season like they have in the real world, maybe even better. But we shall see how our managers get on. Okay then, so we have simulated through to the end of the 22-23 season, and we can see here immediately that Arsenal have finished 4th. Arteta's still in charge, obviously. So there they are, finished 4th on 63 points. That's our baseline for the league. Runners-up in the FA Cup, knocked out of both Carabao Cup and Europa League by Spurs in the Carabao Cup. Probably not one Arsenal fans are interested in knowing. Right, so we can see here a 52% win percentage. This is the best 11. Any new players in there? Renato Tapia looks new. Gabriel Jesus is a good, strong performer. Saka also getting a really good performance in there. If we go to have a look at transfers, we can see Renato Tapia is the big 15 million signing from Celta. They've also signed someone from Bayern for next season. No massive outs either. But that's basically what the base case, regular, standard Mikel Arteta has done. Finished 4th, got to the FA Cup final. Can our experimented versions, or souped up or are souped down, if that's even the right phrase, versions do any different? Let's have a look. So we shall start by looking at our souped up version of Mikel Arteta. I've gone in the pre-game editor and put them all to 20, but for some reason the game has scaled them down to 18. All the important ones are 18, but they're close. We'll carry on because we've already done the experiment bit. So we'll carry on. This is just looking at his stats. He's 18s and 20s, so they're higher than he is as standard in the game. So we'll see how that impacts the first season in charge of Arsenal. So we've simulated through to the end of the season once again, and it looks like on the final day they were pipped into 3rd by Spurs. So Arsenal finished 4th, but they have made it to 2 cup finals and won. Well, in fact, no, they've made it to 3 cup finals and won all of them. They've won the Carabao Cup, they've won the FA Cup, they've won the Europa League by beating Manchester United. So they've taken 3 trophies in season number 1, but still finished 4th. 4 points more, level on points with Villa in 5th, a point behind Spurs, so it could have been very different. It's all down to the last day by the look of things. They've dropped out by drawing with West Ham on the last day. This is the best 11. A few more new players in there by the look of things. But yeah, so they've performed pretty much the same in the league, but won 3 cups. Is that enough to suggest a sort of 4 or 5 point boost in his attributes? Maybe it doesn't really matter at this end. We'll see. We'll see how the other 2 experiment versions of Arteta get on. So yeah, this has been not particularly eye-opening so far, but it is only 1 season. We shall see how that changes if we go further into the future as well. But next, we're going to look at the next version of Mikel Arteta. And next up is the 1-star, 1 attribute Mikel Arteta. If we have a look here, okay, they've gone to 3. I'm not sure. The pre-game editor, that is. So 1s and 3s are basically what's happening on his attributes. That is sufficiently lower than the 14 average for those 5 key attributes that we had with the base version. So we'll see how that 11-point knockoff makes a difference to his performance in season number 1. And we've simulated season number 1, and as you can see, Rafa Benitez is Arsenal manager. That's not Mikel Arteta. So something's gone wrong, clearly. They finished down in 9th as well, so clearly having 1s and 3s has made a big difference. He was sacked in November, so didn't even make it to the World Cup. Let's have a look at their schedule and see what made him get sacked and where they were when he got sacked. So if we look here, scroll down, they're not performing particularly well in the Europa League either, but a string of defeats. 1 victory in about 8 there. A defeat against Liverpool got him sacked. So if we have a look at where the Arsenal were in the league at that point. So they were 9th when they finished. If we scroll, that's a little bit too early, it's October. If we go further forward to there, they were only 11th. So they've been a little bit lower, and they didn't really get much higher when Benitez came in. So he didn't really turn it around that much. But a 1 or 3 attribute Arteta did poorly, got himself sacked, and basically Arsenal have somehow managed to qualify for the Conference League. We'll have a look what else they've done across the season in that case. Did they manage to get to other cup finals or win something? Okay, they've won the Carabao Cup, so even with a really, really shoddy manager in charge, obviously Benitez had come in by that point, by they got to the final, but the first few rounds he still managed to get them through. They quarter-final of the Europa League, 3rd round of the FA Cup, nothing to write home about, but they win the Carabao Cup, but I don't think Arteta can take the praise for that one. Next up is our middle of the road, Mikel Arteta, and this time we've given him 10s, and they've actually stayed as 10s as well. So he's got 10, which is a little bit lower, about 4 attribute points lower on each of the key stats. So we'll see how he gets on. Obviously, 1s and 3s got him sacked. 20s and 18s didn't really make much difference, so we'll see if 10s make any difference. Obviously, they're still predicted to finish 6th, according to the season preview, and we'll see how they get on. First season simulated once again, and it's not Mikel Arteta or Rafa Benitez, it's Luis Enrique. So Arsenal obviously want a Spanish manager in charge. Arteta got himself sacked. Arsenal still finished 6th, so they're not done as bad. And he managed to get through to the middle of February, so a little bit better. We shall see where they were in the league on the 18th of Feb when he got himself sacked. They had a poor run to start with by the look of things. Obviously won a couple of games in August, but then had a bit of a poor September and didn't really come back very well after. And it's another defeat actually to Liverpool that's got him sacked. So obviously if he loses to Liverpool, he gets sacked. We'll have a look at the league table as around that point. It was the 18th of February. If we have a look, they finished 6th overall. I'm going to say they were around about 10th. Right, so here we're looking across the Bournemouth game. I think it was the next one. Yeah, so they lost to Liverpool there. They were 10th when he got sacked rather than 11th. They were down in 17th early in the season. And you know, I would have possibly thought about sacking him then. But they finished 6th in the end. Did they get to any cup finals? I don't think they did by the look of things. They got to the semi-final of the Europa League. Made a few transfers here. Nothing massive. Barrios and Courtois from Hibernian. Nothing massive. But yeah, okay, we'll have a quick look at the rest of their competitions whilst we are here. Knocked out the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, semi-finals of the Europa League. Obviously, he'd gone by then. And the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Right, we'll do a couple more seasons with our base case and our all-20s because, well, basically the other two have been sacked. So this is the base case regular standard Mikel Arteta, and they've won the league at the end of season number 3, the 24-25 season. Arsenal have won the league. Here are his stats. There's 17s, 18s now, and 16s, so they're all improving compared to where they were at the start of the game. And they've won the Premier League, won the Carabao Cup as well, and looks like, basically, they've pretty much been at the top of the Premier League all season, or very nearly. They beat Man City by 3 points, getting 90 points in total. What did they do in Season 2? They didn't win it then as well. We'll have a look though. They finished 3rd. So they've gone 4th, 3rd, 1st over the 3-season simulation. We can see here 63 points up to 78 and then 90 for season number 3. A great performance. Only lost 4 games as well, beating Man City quite comfortably. Newcastle up there. Look, yeah, they're 2nd and then 1st towards the end of the season. So they finished strong. So regular, standard Mikel Arteta, great job. Great job all around. We'll have a look at what they've done in the rest of the competitions they've been in. Champions League, they got to the final in season number 2, lost Liverpool, lost in the quarterfinals to Liverpool in season number 3. Man City won the season 3 Champions League, but Liverpool won against Arsenal in the final of season number 2. What other cup competitions? FA Cup semi-finals twice, lost the final in the first season, obviously, and the Carabao Cup they've won in the 3rd season. So they've got a trophy in the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. Let's have a look at Mr. Souped-up version of Mikel Arteta has done in this simulation. So, 3 seasons played for 20s or 18s Mikel Arteta, and he's not won the league. He's still 18 in everything, which is great. But they finished 2nd behind Man City, and they've won the FA Cup. They've lost 4. The last 4 Premier League games, though, that is probably going to have an impact on how the season has gone. Won the FA Cup, semi-final of the Carabao Cup, lost quite early in the Champions League. Okay, so it didn't really make much of an impact. They still finished 2nd. They were 2nd for the whole run of losing 4 games on the bounce. Let's have a look how they did in season number 2. See if they managed to beat... No, they got 3rd as well, and not as impressive a 3rd place as the regular attributed Arteta. So maybe at that point you don't really make much difference. As soon as you get to that 15+ range, it's all a bit of nothing. They did win, obviously, plenty of cups in the first season. Got to the quarterfinals and the knockout round of the Champions League. It's not really fantastic. They've won the FA Cup twice, though. Beat Everton and Man City in 2 finals. Lost in the semi-finals to Spurs, which is not great. Obviously, won the Europa League in season number 1. Carabao Cup, they've won in the first season, but not again. So they've won plenty of cup competitions, but no leagues. They finished 4th, 3rd, and 2nd rather than 4th, 3rd, and 1st. So does this prove anything? I think it proves that once you get a manager, an AI manager with attributes of sort of 14, 15, it's all of a muchness compared to those that are sort of 18, 20. There's not much difference at the top, but once you get lower than that, once you go into the middle range of sort of the 10s, you see a drop-off, and obviously 1s, you see a real big drop-off. So I think it's quite a sliding scale in that it doesn't matter that much when you've got 15 and above, but 10 and below, you really do notice a difference. So basically, that's our experiment. If you'd like to see something similar to this, or you'd like to see something expanded on this, we'll try it maybe with a different club and a different manager, let us know in the comments. We'd be really happy to do another one of these again. It's been quite fun. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to see here on the channel, please let us know in the comments. Give us a message over on Twitter as well. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. There's going to be some more videos coming up in a second. We've done some great simulations of the World Cup and the 2022-23 season as well. And plenty of lists of young 23 and under players who've got expiring contracts at the end of the season. They're definitely worth a watch. And as is every other video here on the channel, so if you're not already subscribed, please do so. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.